3,000 years ago, Hebrew had a problem. The system that told you who was doing what to whom, the case endings on nouns, had collapsed. In Proto-Semitic, the ancestor language of Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic, nouns carried vowel suffixes that marked their role in a sentence. Subjects ended in u. Objects ended in a. The man ate the dog was unambiguous. Inshu meant the man as the subject, the one doing the eating. Kalba meant the dog as the object, the one being eaten. The endings did the work. You could put the words in any order, and the sentence still meant the same thing. When the Northwest Semitic languages, Hebrew, Phoenician, Moabite, lost these endings, that flexibility collapsed. Ish achal kelev, man ate dog, could mean the man ate the dog or the dog ate the man. Without the u and a, the words alone no longer told you who had done the eating. Something had to replace the lost system. Different languages developed different solutions. Hebrew chose et, a small particle placed before the definite direct object. Aramaic developed yat. Each addressed the same problem, marking who is acting and who is being acted upon. David Ben-Gurion famously omitted et from his speech. When a schoolchild asked him about it in 1967, he pointed to biblical examples where context makes the object clear. Linguists generally see this as rationalizing a non-native instinct rather than a grammatical position. There's also a second, completely unrelated Hebrew word spelled et, a preposition meaning with, and in some contexts, direction. It survives in the pronoun form iti, with me, ito, with him. In the late 20th century, this second et was repurposed in business names under the influence of Latin et and the ampersand. The most frequently written word in Hebrew is a 3,000-year-old emergency repair. The case system collapsed, a two-letter patch was applied. The patch held, it's still holding. Every Hebrew sentence with a definite object carries a trace of a grammatical crisis that happened before the First Temple. Now you know.